What's going on, all you fine wrestling folks out there? I figured we'd take a minute to talk about the evolution of the Judgment Day and how they went from a group that felt elite to a group that feels like they're going obsolete. When they first started, they were a group originally founded and ran by Edge. Edge would team up with Damian Priest at the beginning, and quickly they would recruit Rhea Ripley as their first female member. But there was trouble in the distance, because they recruited Finn Balor, who no one can argue deserves a whole lot more than what WWE's given him up to this point. But then after Finn Balor would join the Judgment Day, it wouldn't be long
before they turned on Edge.
That's right, they turned on Edge and kicked him out the group and became a leaderless group. Or at least that's what they claimed, but it quickly felt like they were being led by Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley once they captured championship gold. They would even take Dominic Mysterio under their wing when he came into the WWE and decided to separate from his father. They would then recruit long-term friend of Finn Balor, J.D. Madonna, Mr. Bobblehead himself, to the group. They then would find some comedic relief with the comedic duo of
Carlito and R-Truth.
That's right, Carlito would become an official member at some point, while R-Truth, well, I don't think anybody even really knows to this day whether he was truly a member or not. But they provided a much-needed comedic feel and edge to the Judgment Day. Unfortunately, Carlito wouldn't last very long in the WWE, and it wouldn't be long before they turned on R-Truth as well. Then, Dominic Mysterio would turn on Rhea Ripley in order to unite with Liv Morgan, which marked the end officially of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley's involvement in the Judgment Day. They would then pick up a friend of Liv Morgan's and Raquel Rodriguez, seen as a female powerhouse, which I don't agree with. And then they picked up the rival of Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, which brings us to current day, where they've now turned on Finn Balor as well and kicked him out of the group, leaving the current members of the Judgment Day as Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, Bobblehead J.D. Madonna, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. A group that feels more like a girl band and their two groupies than it does an elite threat like it did in the beginning stages, when it was Edge, Damian, and Rhea. They felt like a real threat. And when it was Finn, Damian, and Rhea, they felt like a real threat. And honestly, they still felt like a threat when it was Finn, J.D. Madonna, Dominic, and Liv Morgan. But now without Finn, being a group comprised of three women, a little midget bobblehead J.D. Madonna, and old douchebag himself, Dirty Dominic, they really don't feel like they're much of a threat to anyone now, do they? Because as far as the men on the roster goes, I can't help but feel like most of them could beat J.D. Madonna and Dominic Mysterio simultaneously. Now in the women's division, there is a threat with them now being three women strong, but that's about it. So my question is,
what happened to the Judgment Day?
How did they go from a legitimate threat, an elite group, to a group that now can only really pose any real damage to the female division? And is that what the future of the Judgment Day is? Is a female division influenced team when they used to influence both sides of the roster? At one point, this team held the men's and the women's heavyweight championship. Now I'd be surprised if they ever hold anything more than the Intercontinental Championship or the Men's Tag Team Championships. Obviously, they might win a Women's Championship, or maybe even the Women's Tag Team Championships. But ask yourself, how long can the Judgment Day survive in their new current incantation? Are you looking forward to the future of the Judgment Day? Or are you like me and think this is starting to feel like a group that's on its last leg? Make sure you let us know in the comments down below. And as always, we'll see you next time.
For more WSR.